Joining us now on Bucky and BK, it is Texas edge rusher Ethan Burke as part of our weekly conversations with Ethan, brought to you by our great friends at realtruck.com. Real Truck is the #1 truck accessory brand in the United States with top-selling upgrades for the ultimate tailgate party. Hitch grills, powered coolers, weatherproof awnings, and so much more. Head over to realtruck.com to gear up for the football season and bring your truck to life. Ethan, it's good to talk to you again. The second of our weekly conversations with you. How's everything going this week?
Man, it's going well. I've had a good week. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic, man. The game on Saturday, we talked to you a lot last week about, the Oklahoma game and the strength and conditioning and everything to do in your life when it comes to football. Speed of the game a little bit different this week, even from last week. I know you played a pretty good defense in Oklahoma and watching them play, but you got a chance to be, on that same field with the kids from Georgia. Speed of the game even different than that game?
No, I mean, Georgia's definitely talented, but we didn't execute as an entire team, and there's no one to blame for that. It's just other than the entire team, there's no one particular group or position or anything, but they were definitely talented. I just think if we played better, it would have been a better game, no doubt. And you saw that in the second half,
Yeah, the three takeaways for the defense, Ethan. I know in a losing effort, no one's going to be satisfied, but against Carson Beck and a really, really talented Georgia offense, do you guys take some sort of pride being able to hold that offense to less than 300 yards, being able to force those 3 turnovers? Are there some silver linings in the performance from that aspect?
Yeah, I think there were some good that came out of it and some bad. Defensively, we have a lot to learn from that game as we could have been better, There were some tough situations, but defensively, we thought we played a good game. And then there were also a bunch of situations that we have to learn from and get better as a group.
Yeah, when you get those turnovers, when that ball gets turned over as a team, you got to score points off. When Carson Beck gives you 3 interceptions, you got to understand, you got to score. And you know that as well as anybody because you're on that side of the ball that gets the turnover. So when you hand it over to your brothers, you're expecting your brothers to put it in, but it just didn't happen on Saturday, and you go right back to the drawing board. Last year at this time you had lost to Oklahoma, and from that point on you became an incredible team. Is that the sense that you get with this team after the loss on Saturday, that you guys go right back to? I know it's hard to put that back, put that in the back burner, but you have to because you're playing a Vanderbilt team that is not just any team anymore. It's not everybody you play in the SEC. If you're not ready to go, can beat you. Do you just get right back after it?
Yeah, and I think this week we can't take Vanderbilt lightly whatsoever, and we haven't been. We know who we're going against and competing against. Last week's game isn't going to define us as a team, and it's not the end of the season at all. It's one game, and with the bigger playoff, we have so much time to get better, and we're definitely still in the running for this thing,
Ethan Burke joining us here, and our conversation with Ethan is brought to you by our friends at realtruck.com. Yeah, Ethan, has the messaging in practice been any different this week? Have you noticed maybe a rise in intensity coming off of a loss? I know you guys try to treat every game the same, but does it feel a little bit different this week after stubbing your toe for the first time in 2024?
Yeah, I think people were definitely disappointed, but we're right back to it, doing what we've been doing all year. Practice has been great this week. Super high energy, and everyone's flying around, man. Just trying to get to this weekend and get another win.
No doubt about it. I mean, the messaging has to be the same. You want, coaches want consistency in players. Players want consistency in coaches. And win, lose, or draw, they have to coach you the same way, just like every game is a championship game. Whether you lose the game or not, you have to be ready to go back. You have to take on some hard coaching after a defeat also, because there's some things that you got to do better. You just have to. We talked about playing to a standard, playing to the Texas standard. But after playing a team like Georgia, they've got a standard too. They're used to winning national championships and winning huge games, with the exception of Alabama beating them. They beat everybody else. So now I guess that does give you an indication that your standard has to be picked up just a little bit more.
Yeah, it does. I think this week we just wanted to be ourselves, and we didn't want to change, and the coach didn't want us to change. Obviously, Saturday didn't go to our standard and how we expect ourselves to play. So for us, it's just being the same team, being the same person every day, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ethan, on a slightly lighter note, I don't know how much you're on Twitter or social media in general, but have you seen this kid? We're doing a little screen share here. Have you seen the
Yeah,
pictures of this guy from the game on Saturday?
man, that hair is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what this guy? I know.
That's not one of your roommates, is it?
Dude, it looks like it.
You guys thought about like getting this dude to the facility to maybe give a motivational speech or something? I mean, this guy might be the most popular kid on campus right now.
I know he's been blowing up. I've seen him all over Twitter, and I mean, I get it. Look at that hair. Look at that face. He's disappointed.
Dude, that dude should coach. That's a scary coach.
He would be a scary coach, man.
Oh man, figured I'd ask about that one. That was one of the funnier moments from.
We've been talking about that kid. That was a great moment.
Oh really? In the locker room, like everybody knows who that guy is now.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. So, well, on to this weekend, right? A little bit on Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia. I know Steve Sarkisian on Monday said he's the straw that stirs the drink for Vanderbilt. I'm sure you've watched a lot of film on this young man over the last couple of days. He's been really, really good and really smart with the football. Obviously, you guys know what he was able to do against Alabama a couple of weeks ago. What do you make of Pavia's game, and what type of challenges can he bring to y'all's defense this weekend?
Yeah, he's a real playmaker for them, and I've seen that on tape. It's almost like he's like playing freestyle out there, kind of backyard ball. I think he looks at his read. If he doesn't like it, he begins to run around, scramble, and try to make a play. So for us, it's just keeping him in the pocket, and then when we are spying the quarterback, just go and get him on the ground and have good leverage on him. So make sure he doesn't get out of there and make defenders miss and make something out of nothing, as we've seen all year,
I mean, as a guy who is on the outside, Ethan, do you have to be careful of, pinching down just a little bit too much? That's always the thing. You want to make that play inside. You want to be a part of that tackle that happens, inside. But don't you that responsibility that you have for letting things bounce outside of you? Sometimes that's a tough responsibility. That's one of the tough positions on the football field. People don't understand that. I mean, your mind is racing. You think the inside guy has the ball. You pinch down, quarterback pulls, and next thing you know, he's on the outside. That's got to be tough responsibility, man.
It is. And, like you see those guys going in and you get eager to –
oh, yeah.
Side, you get super eager to jump in and you want to make the tackle and make the play, and then out of nowhere those guys bounce it. But we've put a huge emphasis on it all year because last week with the running backs at Georgia, they kind of cut outside real quick. So we make sure we stay outside, stay on the edge. Those are plays for other people to make, and it's our job to keep it in there,
Yeah, you may have just answered this question, Ethan, but like everyone knows the Bill Belichick mantra, do your job. Is this one of those games where it's like you can't be a hero? Like all 11 guys on defense, just they have to do what they're supposed to do and maybe let somebody else make the play so you don't get caught, in a bad spot?
Yeah, he's running around like crazy and you don't know where he could go. And that's kind of what the coaches push on us all year, like if you do your job, the plays will come to you. And I think that's a really good perspective to have for all of our players. Like, obviously everyone wants to make plays, but sometimes it's just doing your job, because if one person's out of whack, it can screw the whole defense, really.
Let me ask you, we didn't get a chance to ask you this last week. Your ability in lacrosse and what you've done, in your other sport that you're absolutely fantastic at. And, you had offers all over the country to go play that sport and decided to still come and play some football. Well, where does that part of that sport come in that really helps you? Is it the hand-eye coordination, even when you've got to put when you got to put your hands on guys and move your hands around and move them around? Is that all a part of it that you've learned from both sports?
Yeah, I would say that is. And then another thing, definitely the hand-eye. Another thing, just feeling where the quarterback and runners are. So just having that sixth sense almost. I feel like I played offense, so I kind of had to feel where the defenders were. I couldn't see them all the time, but they're trying to get up on me, so I had to feel them. And it's good when I'm on a block to be able to get off and try and find the ball carrier,
I like that. Yeah, Ethan Burke joining us here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Our weekly conversations with Ethan Burke brought to you by Real Truck. Gear up for football season and bring your truck to life by heading over to realtruck.com. Next week during the bye week, Ethan, we might have a few more lacrosse questions for you. My dad played at Texas back in the day, so I know he's begging me to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I love it. I love it. So Vanderbilt's running back, I'm sure you know this, Cedric Alexander is from Austin, played at LBJ. Did you guys, I know y'all weren't in the same district, so I don't think y'all ever played against each other, but do you have any sort of relationship with him? I know Andrew Makuba was a teammate of his back in high school. You got any familiarity with Cedric Alexander at all?
No, and this is my first time hearing about him, but we definitely respect him as a player. You know, he's on tape lighting dudes up every game, not just in the run game. Obviously, he's talented running the ball, but blocking and when they run these sweeps, he can be the lead blocker and he's laying dudes out. So for us, we're trying to send that message back to them and try not to be the guy that gets lit up, you know.
No, you don't want to be the guy on film that they're talking about on Sunday.
No, man.
No, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, everyone will know too. Everyone will know. It'll be known.
So what's the biggest key to turning things around this weekend? I mean, like anybody who's acting like the sky is falling right now is crazy. You guys are still a top 5 team in the country. All of your goals are still in front of you. And like Bucky said earlier, you guys lost to Oklahoma in the middle of October last year, went on to win the conference, went on to make it to the college football playoff. What's the biggest key to just turn it around and leave Nashville with a W on Saturday?
For us, I would say leaving that Georgia game in the past, not thinking about it, and not feeling sorry for ourselves. You know, just go be who we are, and then leave that game in the past. I think we've done a really good job of that this week. You know, Monday was tough. It felt a little down, but we were able to get past that and practice how we are. And now we're going to go out Saturday and play how we do and show that we're one of these top teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. It's not. You had back-to-back emotional weeks, of course, playing OU. The emotions. I mean, it's not just the physicality of the football game. There's a lot of emotions that go into that rivalry game, and then to back that up, well, not having anything but going straight to Georgia. It's as taxing on you mentally as it is on you physically. It has to be. You know, everybody's won your time. Everybody after Oklahoma's telling you how great you are. You're the number 1 team in the nation. You play against Georgia, you find out that there's some other things that you guys have to get better at. And then next thing you know, you've got a loss. And mentally, it's got to be draining. And now you've got to turn right around and come back and play a team that is a very dangerous football team. And everybody knows that. Everybody, once again, around you that doesn't play the game knows how dangerous Vanderbilt could be. So now mentally, once again, the pressure is right back on you. That's a lot. That's a lot in 3 weeks. And, I mean, you've got to be pretty grown up to be able to handle that, plus all the different things that you have to do during the course of a week.
Yeah, and it can be. But I think we have so many mature guys on this team and such great leadership that so many people right now are just focusing on this team and this season. And we know we have so much potential and
sure.
We have such a great opportunity ahead of us. So for us, we're able to recover throughout the week and get our mind right for the next opponent, really.
Yeah, Ethan, I'm worried I'm walking a fine line asking a question like this, but can we expect an Instagram post saying that Ethan Burke is opting out the rest of the season to focus on the NFL draft? Is that going to happen to you too?
His professional lacrosse career.
Yeah, what you know, I know you're not going to divulge too much, but what in the hell was those, I don't know, 2 hours like for you and your teammates a couple of days ago?
Yeah, it was an interesting situation. I'm not sure exactly how it happened or what was said, you know, but I'm just glad Quinn's still with us. He's such a great quarterback, such a great teammate and friend on the team, you know, so it was interesting, man. I can't say too much about it.
Bizarre day for sure. All right, couple more for you. By the way, Ethan Burke joining us here on Texas Sports Unfiltered, and our weekly conversations with Ethan are brought to you by our great friends at realtruck.com. If you've got a truck, if you've got a Jeep, if you've got a Bronco, and you want to bring it to life, head over to realtruck.com. A couple of rapid fire questions for you, Ethan. A pregame meal. Do you have a go-to meal or snack before you take the field every Saturday?
When we do pregame meal, I'm steak, man. No matter what time it is, I like a little steak, probably some rice, maybe some mashed potatoes. Just
No baked potato before the game.
maybe. I mean, some mash, throw in some sour cream, some
Nice.
cheese. Not too much. I try not to do too much.
Not too much. You're eating a steak at 9 a.m. for an 11 a.m. game. What do you mean not too much?
Gotta have it,
man.
Oh, no eggs in the morning if it's like an 11 a.m. kick, no steak and eggs?
Yeah, 11, probably some eggs as well.
Okay.
Got to.
One of these days, Bucky will tell you his baked potato story.
No, you don't need to know that.
We'll spare you this one. What about pregame music, Ethan? Last one for me today. Is there a certain song? Is there a certain artist, a certain playlist? What's the go-to that you have to get you pumped up for a game?
So I would say half my teammates love my music, half of them hate it. So I have like a 1,500 song playlist with everything from rock, Nirvana. I got Lady Gaga. I got rap, man.
Chris Stapleton on there anywhere?
Dude, a little bit. I like George Strait though.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like the king.
Yeah. He's the best in my opinion.
So you got Lady Gaga and George Strait and Nirvana on the same.
If you ask anyone, it's a crazy playlist. I always try to play music because I think I can get to everyone a little bit, but I think it's great music.
They give you the aux in the locker room?
They do occasionally. I got to battle for it sometimes, but
there you go.
Some people are really excited when I'm on, I will say.
Who last thing, I know I said that a question ago, but I got to follow up. Who do you battle with for the aux? Who are the guys? There are team leaders, and then there are guys who get the aux cord. I think that might be a bigger deal. Who are the dudes that you're competing with?
DJ Campbell's my boy, man. But me and him, the speaker can connect to two phones at once. So I'm trying to play music, and he tries to cancel my music, and I'm like, DJ,
nice.
Man, give me a break.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, Ethan, always enjoy these conversations, my man. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Special thanks to Real Truck for bringing these conversations each and every week. And best of luck this weekend. Safe travels to and from Nashville, and look forward to catching up again next week.
Hook 'em, man.
Yeah, hook 'em, baby. Appreciate it.
Hook 'em.